Donald Trump has just been dragged into the biggest crisis of his career, and the man pulling the strings is none other than Lawrence O'Donnell. The feud between Trump and O'Donnell is not new, but the latest escalation has shocked Washington and rattled international observers. This isn't just about politics. It's about power, media, and the future of American democracy. And what happens next could reshape everything. The story begins more than a decade ago in 2011, when Trump wasn't yet a politician, but a celebrity businessman. He became the face of the so-called birther movement, pushing the false claim that President Obama was not born in the United States. It was a racist lie, a conspiracy theory that spread like wildfire, and it forced Obama to release his long-form birth certificate. At the center of this firestorm was Donald Trump, and at the forefront of the resistance was Lawrence O'Donnell. On MSNBC, O'Donnell didn't hold back. He called the birther claims what they were, dangerous lies meant to poison America's political conversation. That was the spark that lit a feud still burning today. Fast forward to 2016. Trump was no longer just a celebrity. He was a presidential candidate and later, the most powerful man in the country. But O'Donnell never stopped calling him out. On his show, The Last Word, he described Trump's campaign as built on fraud, hate, and lies. The attacks weren't just on air. Behind the scenes, Trump pressured NBC, the network where The Apprentice had made him a household name, to rein in O'Donnell. There were whispers of Trump demanding silence from NBC executives. But O'Donnell refused to be silenced. Night after night, he exposed Trump's tax evasions, shady bank deals, and false promises. By 2019, things had reached a boiling point. O'Donnell went after Trump's financial ties, especially his long relationship with Deutsche Bank, the only major bank still willing to lend him hundreds of millions when others had walked away. O'Donnell asked the question no one else wanted to ask: who was really backing those loans? Trump's lawyers threatened lawsuits, and O'Donnell retracted one detail, but the shadow of those deals still hangs over Trump. Then came the Epstein scandal. The name Jeffrey Epstein still sends shockwaves across the globe. Child trafficking, secret networks, powerful elites. Trump's name appeared again and again in connection with Epstein's world, from photographs to parties to overlapping circles of influence. O'Donnell highlighted these ties, reminding America of the unanswered questions and the sealed files that could still devastate Trump's legacy. Some insiders even claimed that other billionaires warned Trump that if the Epstein files were fully exposed, the damage could be unstoppable. Trump struck back as expected. By late 2023, he was on Truth Social demanding the government investigate MSNBC. He accused the network of election interference and even suggested it should lose its license. The problem? MSNBC doesn't use broadcast licenses. It's cable. The demand exposed Trump's obsession with silencing critics more than it revealed any legal path. But the intention was clear. He wanted Lawrence O'Donnell off the air. Meanwhile, O'Donnell kept pressing. He gave national attention to revelations from Liz Cheney's book, where some Republicans privately described Trump as Orange Jesus. To O'Donnell, this showed the cult-like devotion surrounding Trump, a dangerous trend in any democracy. He didn't bury it in commentary. He turned it into a focal point, showing the risk of elevating a leader above principle and truth. Now in 2025, the battle has reignited once again. Trump, back at the center of politics and still wielding enormous influence, faces O'Donnell's sharp spotlight on every scandal, every policy failure, and every distraction. O'Donnell has said openly that Trump cannot silence him. He framed the fight not as a personal feud, but as a test of whether journalism can stand up to political power. The implications are massive. Nationally, the question is whether one of America's most visible journalists can keep pushing back against a president who has already shown he will bend institutions to his will. Internationally, allies and adversaries alike are watching whether the U.S. allows open media criticism or slides deeper into a war on press freedom. Financial markets are jittery too because the mention of Deutsche Bank and Epstein sends ripples across Europe and Wall Street alike. All eyes are now on what comes next. Will Trump escalate his campaign against MSNBC and O'Donnell? Will more of the Epstein files leak? Will Deutsche Bank be forced to reveal more about its dealings with Trump? The next few weeks could decide whether this feud remains a media battle or erupts into a full-blown political scandal with global consequences. One thing is certain: Lawrence O'Donnell is not backing down, and Trump is not used to opponents who refuse to be silenced. This is a clash between political power and journalistic persistence. It is a story of accusations, scandals, and secrets that could shake Washington, Wall Street, and beyond. So the question now is, who will outlast the other? Will O'Donnell finally force Trump to justify these scandals in front of the nation, or will Trump's counterattacks succeed in silencing one of his loudest critics? That's the breaking story we're watching. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Trust me, this clash is far from over, and the next chapter may be even more shocking than what we've seen so far.